What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Macho Movie Madness.
Oh, yeah.
I am Brandon. Alongside me always is Andrew. Today, it is Why We Love Hard to Kill. What is up, guys? Welcome back, and we are doing a Why We Love Hard to Kill today. Probably Steven Seagal's best movie.
I would think so.
Other than maybe Under Siege.
Yeah, Under Siege is really
Like right
good.
there.
He's not in like half the movie, so
Right.
to me this is more of a straight Steven Seagal performance.
Yeah, and it is a pleasant one at
Yeah.
that. So this came out in 1990. Steven Seagal, Kelly Lebrock.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Which was that his wife at the time?
I believe so.
At the time. William Sadler as Senator Trent.
Death.
Frederick Coffin. Yeah, Death from
Bill
and Ted movies. Basically, he's a cop in early 80s, and he gets some footage of a crooked wannabe senator having some kind of little rendezvous with some mobsters.
Caprese.
And he's hiring this guy working on a deal to take care of his competition in the future so he can get into office.
Yeah.
Steven Seagal gets this on tape. He ends up calling in, of course, like all these movies, there's crooked cops involved. They end up overhearing on the phone, and they're all in Trent's pocket and other people's pockets. So they basically kill him and his wife in
It's a massacre.
Only thing is, he comes back alive in the hospital right after everybody leaves, and only his good trusted friend O'Malley knows. So they keep him as John Doe in the hospital for 7 years in a coma. He wakes up and seeks revenge.
I do want to say I think it's kind of funny that he wakes up as soon as Kelly Lebrock's like, "Hey, do you want a little pussy?"
I know. That'd wake anybody up.
Right.
I feel like.
Yeah. Male, female, it didn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. Woo. So this one here was Bruce Malmuth was the director. Stephen McKay was the writer. Budget of $11.5 million and a box office total of 75 mil. So it did pretty good. And I think, was it his best one to date?
It's got to be up there. I know Under Siege made a lot of money too.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I know this gave him a lot of power in Hollywood for a little while.
Yeah.
Because this did so well with Warner Brothers. And a nice runtime of 95 minutes. It's an easy, brisk watch, man. It's good all the way through. Music, amazing.
Yeah.
We'll get to that in a second. So, yeah, I know most people think Steven Seagal, he's Steven Seagal. At one point, he was one of the biggest action stars of all time. Kind of a seemingly legit badass.
Yeah.
Till baby Jean-Claude came along.
Yeah.
But, yeah, and he was tall, too, so just towered and just wrecked everybody.
And in the box office, there were no comparisons. Van Damme's highest grossing movie was Time Cop.
Yeah.
And I think it made $50-some million.
Yeah.
And people forget what a box office draw Steven Seagal was.
Yeah, he really was.
Yeah.
And up until like some of more recent years, his personal shenanigans and his just demeanor, I loved him. I loved him for a long time.
Yeah.
Just awesome. I think some of it just went to his head and just weird guy anyway. But anyway, we want to start out at, I guess, just kind of pros and cons of this movie.
Yeah.
Let's do pros first.
So this is, like we said, one of my favorite Steven Seagal movies. When I think Steven Seagal, this is the movie I'm probably going to throw in.
100%.
Or Out for Justice, maybe.
Yes.
But
100%.
yeah, this is tops. Yeah, this movie, action-wise, just absolutely love it. The gunplay in this thing, the way he's fighting everybody.
Yeah.
I like the cinematography for the most part.
I do too.
I think that's really good. We were talking music.
Score was solid.
Yeah.
Yeah, those little stingers, I guess. Then those are really solid in this, and not just the you got a lot of really good that stinger music or whatever that is. Right before those tense parts that's solid, man. That's what stands out in this movie a lot to me. The lighting in a lot of scenes I really like. And you always notice in these movies the unnatural lighting in things. He shuts, he walks up the stairs with his wife at the beginning, and the lights are on in the hall above their head in the stairwell, shuts the lights off, and everything's red.
Oh, yeah.
He's got some kind of red illumination back there.
Yeah.
And it's not natural and it's weird to a normal person.
Yeah.
But then you're thinking, it's an 80s movie, or I guess early 90s, and it just fits and it does so well. And I love that. I love when they add the blues and the red accents and things, even though they're not natural.
Yeah. Yeah, don't question it. Just go with it.
Just go with it. Yeah, it's good. It looks good. It does. It is probably a product of its time, but it looks good.
Yeah.
But that's a big. The cinematography is solid. The acting isn't top notch, but it's not bad.
No.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Considering.
William Sadler's very good in this.
Very.
I like his henchman Axel.
Yes.
In this a lot.
Yeah. Menacing.
O'Malley is my favorite actor in the entire movie.
For sure. He's the best.
Just love that character.
He sold it.
Yeah. How he took care of. Well, I've got a little bit of a con there. We'll talk when we get to cons. But
okay.
Yeah, he was really solid. Seagal's really good in this.
It might be his best.
Yeah, I think it probably. Yeah, I wouldn't know what movie to argue with as far as what would be his best. Maybe
when he's in it.
Yeah.
But.
What is your favorite action scene from this movie? Because there's so many.
Oh man, dude. I don't know. So one of them that stands out to me is the scene at the supermarket or the convenience store at the beginning.
Yeah.
You know, when he's like, "Come cut my fucking heart out."
Yeah.
Come on. And he's like, "Oh, I understand. Mine's bigger. I'll just put my weight." And then he gets on his knees. He's like, "Come on. Let's go, hot shot." And he had a knife, and so he charges at him, and just immediately deflects the knife, grabs him by the ankle, and then twists his ankle, and breaks his. Oh my god, it's gross. Love it though.
Yeah.
Just really just flat out manhandling those dudes. I love that. I love that quick Aikido shit where he like brings them in close and then clotheslines them. And just
straight to the floor.
Yeah, just straight. Yeah, just manhandles them. I like that. The gunplay is really good. The fight in the end in the pool room where they were playing pool, and someone handed me a cue, and he stabs the dude, and that's the thing too. These
just guys, overkill.
It is, but it's always overkill. But it's these guys they don't do anything to him. Like he kills them quickly.
Yeah.
Once he finally gets his hands on them. And I love that.
Yeah, he breaks Axel down to where he's on his knees and then sticks the pool cue in his neck. And it's like, okay, I think he was already dead, but okay.
Yeah. Fuck you and die. And then just kicks him in the nose. Or the guy in the farmhouse, the ranch house.
Yeah.
He shoots, I don't know if he shoots him or whatever, but he just drives his head into the cabinet.
Yeah.
Just the glass cabinet.
My favorite one is where he throws the guy over the balcony and he lands through the coffee table.
Yes. Yeah, that was good too.
Such a good stunt.
Yeah. Very good stunt.
Yeah. There's some other things. I believe the first verses we ever did with Kenny, we did this, and I went back and rewatched it. And because Kenny's not here with us today, but he was laughing at the guys getting hit by the Jeep, and it looked like Magnum PI.
Yeah. 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 That was probably the worst part about the entire movie. That was the worst stunt of the movie. But everything else was pretty solid and mostly believable, I think.
Yeah. They trade that Jeep off to these cholo looking guys. It's like how
hot is it?
Oh, it's smoking.
Smoking hot. All right.
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing about that is it has the hood up. Like the car has the hood up and the trunk doesn't latch right, so they've got like a bungee cable that latches it or whatever that keeps it closed. And I'm like, he just shuts the hood and takes off in the car. Like, what was wrong with the car? The hood was up.
Right.
Was a meaning? Is there a meaning to that? I don't know. I don't understand. I also think it's funny too how the bad guys end up being placed back at the governor's or the senator's mansion at the end. Like they just all got their asses kicked. At the ranch house or somewhere, and they're just back there. Just, I guess we're gonna play some pool for a little bit.
Yeah, which I want to add. That mansion's the mansion from The Big Lebowski.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah. Where the dude goes in to try to get his rug back.
Yeah, that's a really good setting.
Yeah, I liked it.
That's a really good setting. They lit the place well. They utilized all the main parts, like of the mansion with the pool. I loved the hot tub and that long walkway. I love that visual. Of course, I'm trying to find Vernon in the closet or in the room. Was Vernon. Oh, you're so good at this, Vernon.
And of course, there at the end where he shoots him between the legs. It's like I missed. I never missed. Smaller than I thought. Yeah, that's just so good.
Yeah. Of course, spoilers, they get the tape and he gets his revenge, and most of them, all the people that killed his wife die, and then Trent goes to jail. Yeah. Or assuming, so he gets arrested. So
he gets arrested after he takes him to the blood bank.
Yeah. I love this they just blackened his teeth when he shoved that double barrel in his mouth. Let's go to cons. So obviously I think the cons of the action scenes, probably the dude getting hit in with the Jeep. Yeah. That's one of the goofiest things in the movie. I don't know if I really seen it necessary for O'Malley to get killed, but at the same time he did die protecting Sonny. So
speaking of O'Malley, we'll get into it's nitpicking. So he's in a coma ward for 7 years. Yeah. Who paid for this?
Right.
Yeah. Right. O'Malley, he said something about he got like a 3/4 pension or something for retiring early.
Yeah.
Did they sell their house? I mean, who's footing the bill for this? Because insurance doesn't cover that.
Well, and I also watching this again here recently, I'm like, Kelly LeBrock calls the IA.
Yeah.
Or whatever. It was the IA or something like that, or was he? He wasn't a detective in that police force. He was somebody else at the beginning.
Oh, internal affairs.
Yeah, so he was IA.
Yeah.
So she called that office, or she called the police, either way, looking for O'Malley, who had retired at that time. Wouldn't you think that if a John Doe ever woke up, that you would maybe set something in place, like if you retired,
some kind of protocol,
or you got forced into early retirement, that you would find some way to update that information, so someone 7 years down the road who just started working there probably recently doesn't call a bunch of corrupt cops, because they're corrupt.
Right.
Anyway, it worked out because it was a really tense scene, and I really liked the scene of him because he's not he's still, all weak and atrophied from being in a coma for 7 years. So he's fighting to try and get away. He's laying in this hospital bed.
Got a mop.
Trying to maneuver his way through the elevators,
which is a little bit hokey, but it's still good for suspense.
It is, but it's good enough that it doesn't bother me.
Right. Yeah.
So it was good.
I think you could put some Benny Hill music in that, and it'd be a comedy at that point.
Oh, well, especially when she's rolling him down the ramp, beating both sides of the railing with the hospital bed. But anyway, other cons.
Steven Seagal running, always going to be a con. Yeah. No matter how prime he is, don't show him running. Yeah. Not from the waist down anyway. And barely, maybe don't have him run. Unless he can get away without flailing his arms, because it's really weird with his arms and his legs. Because you watch him in Above the Law when he's chasing those guys down, he can run fast.
Yes,
just doesn't run well.
No, he just doesn't. He doesn't look good. I mean, no one's gonna hold the candle to Tom Cruise. That dude looks good running, and he is fast, and he runs in every movie. I think that's in his contract. But I watched Jerry Maguire not too long ago. He's running in that motherfucker. Why? Yeah. There's no reason for you to run in Jerry Maguire.
No.
But you are.
Yeah, he's a vampire. He's ageless.
Don't make Steven Seagal run. And maybe that's what it was. They're like, finally, like, this dude runs bad. Let's stop. And that's why he got fat.
Yeah. Well, and now they got to pay his body double to walk across the courtyard in a scene.
Yeah. That's pretty sad. Yeah. Anyway, I don't think there's any other cons that I can think of. How about you?
No, not really.
Overall the story is amazing without just a couple things, but the story is pretty solid, man. I mean, who doesn't love a good comeback story?
Yeah. Western at heart, the local lawman shot down in his prime and has to come back and take down the bad guys.
Yeah, I love it, man. I love it. One of the best formulas in history, and still successful, I think, to this day.
Yep.
Is there anything else you want to add?
No, I think we pretty well covered it.
What was your favorite? Did I ask you what your favorite action scene was?
Probably there at the hideout.
The hideout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do have another con. Now I just thought of it.
Okay.
When he's rehabbing and coming back, the scene where he's got he's the acupuncture with the smoke. There's a scene where he's doing this really fast, It looks
chops.
really ridiculous.
Yeah. Stops and then does more chops.
Before she comes in like a dress or something. It's like,
yeah.
Steven Seagal, just stop.
I was passing by. I thought you'd like a flower.
But that's the only thing. That was really good.
She was thirsty.
Woo!
Anyway, real quick before we end it, box office, I already mentioned the box office. It was the biggest 3-day February opening at the time, with an opening weekend gross of $9.2 million, debuted at number 1 in the U.S. And it still holds 33% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes, based only on 15 reviews, supposedly. The average rating is 4.1 out of 10. Audiences polled the CinemaScore gave the film an average grade of A- on an A+ scale to F scale. Entertainment Weekly, Owen Gleiberman, he called Seagal as a generic actor and gave it a grade of a D-.
What movie was that guy watching?
I don't know. Describing the film as a lively one for its genre. And then Janet Maslin of the New York Times says Mr. Seagal is effective for both his novelty value and his ability to be both literally and figuratively disarming.
Yeah, wait till she sees Under Siege 2.
Yeah. You ain't got nothing on that guy. Well, that does it for the fun facts here, it looks like. What would you grade this thing yourself?
This I'd give a solid, I don't know, would you go 3 3/4 out of 5? Probably.
Oh, for sure.
For action movie? For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I think just all around, it's 3 3/4 easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really, really enjoyable. And and honestly, when I think of late 80s, early 90s action movies, and your group of all these action heroes, out of Dolph and him and Jean-Claude and Arnold, whoever, there's some of these movies that I grade on a scale, and I compare them to certain ones, and Hard to Kill I compare a lot too. Like some of what I've seen, like with Army 1 and some of Dolph's movies, I compare it to Steven Seagal's movies, just as far as quality goes.
Like the benchmark for that time.
Right, yeah, and Hard to Kill is, and I think, is a benchmark. Yeah. It is one of those that you want to hit certain things, and that's another thing when we talked about Dolph in that tier list, in that movie, Joshua Tree, as another name for it. It felt like a TV movie. It was good.
Yeah.
And the action was good. There's just something how it was produced and how it was shot. It was and edited. It was very much a TV type movie.
Yeah.
This right here was not.
Yeah. This was cinematic.
This is very cinematic, and I'm going to grade it on that scale when I see these movies, when it involves these guys in these types of movies. That's what this is. This is one of those benchmarks for me. Like Terminator 2 is like on a whole nother level.
Right.
But like for this kind of,
for this, you got like this and like Bloodsport, for fighting movies.
Right. So you're going to grade them on a certain scale, and this is a benchmark for me personally. So yeah, 3 3/4 easy. Yeah. If not close to 4.
Yeah. Well, I might go 4. That might be blasphemous. We probably have some snobby critic laughing at us, but do you want to go 4? Let's just go 4.
Yeah, let's just go 4.
Yeah.
F you, critic.
Yeah. We won't take that quarter star away from Seagal's run.
Dude, this and Under Siege is top notch, and I would almost put this a little bit above that just because he gets more time.
Right.
And it's a solid story. And Under Siege, not to say that Under Siege isn't too, because it's Die Hard.
Yeah.
It's a Die Hard clone-ish kind of movie, and this is more Western style. But and so is Die Hard, I guess. But
a little bit.
But yeah, anyway. Anything else you want to say?
Nope.
All right. Well, everybody in the comments below, we expect some nice comments, or some, I don't know, whatever you want to put in there, I guess. But just let us know what you think of Hard to Kill. If you've seen it, if not, I highly recommend it.
Where do you rank it in Steven Seagal's pantheon of movies?
Yeah. What's your score? Where do you rank it in his movies? Leave a like, subscribe, because you don't want to miss any more content. I promise you, we got plenty more coming up.
Oh yeah.
Until then,
we're out of here.